Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sandra P's Gen Extra. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sandra P's Gen Extra. I hope everyone is having a great morning, a wonderful Tuesday. Hopefully, even if it's a work week, you don't have too much planned today. I'm off for the next few days, so I don't have a lot planned. And I wish everyone well this morning. I hope everyone is taking care of themselves mentally, physically, every other way. Thank you for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra this morning. And if you are part of Team Replay, thank you so much for being Team Replay. I thank you so much when you come in, when you click the like button. If you're not subscribed, already subscribe. But Team Replay, the comments that you leave, I do respond to them. So thank you for that. You can see my backdrop. The backdrop is the Cosby Show. I spent time figuring this out because I wanted it to be right. But I appreciate your patience every day. Anytime I'm here and I'm recapping my shows or I'm just in here talking, I appreciate your engagement. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate my moderators, subscribers, everyone. So thank you so much. As you can see, this is Malcolm Jamal Warner appreciation post, and where I first got to know of Malcolm Jamal Warner, who has been in my life and most of our lives through the TV screen since I was 14 or 15 years old. And we are the same age. He was 54. I'm 54. He would have had a birthday next month, and he would have been 55. I'll be 55 at the end of this year. My birthday is December 30th. Those of you who've been on the channel, you know. So we've had some type kinship, I feel, through the years. And any celebrity who comes to your TV screen every week for years, you feel like you know them. So yesterday when I got the news, the first reaction, I thought that it was a hoax. And then I hoped that it was a hoax. The first outlet that reported that I believed it was People. I don't like TMZ. I'm not a fan of TMZ. I don't like Harvey Levin. I don't pay a lot of attention to them. But when People put it out there, I believed it. So I just wanted to have a Malcolm Jamal Warner appreciation post. The job that we all met him through, of course, was Theo Huxtable, the only son, the beloved son, everybody's kind of favorite cousin, first cousin, because that's how I felt yesterday when I heard the news. So you'll see Theo in this cast photo holding his little sister, Rudy. Vanessa's on there. I'm so sorry that Vanessa's face is covered. I don't want to mess with this again, but when I take it down, you'll get to see Vanessa. The screen behind me, Malcolm Jamal Warner was a person who did so many things in his too short 54 years. So he was a musician as well, Grammy-nominated musician as well. He did a lot of spoken word, a lot of jazz. I'm sharing something where I'll share that with you. So Malcolm Jamal Warner was living his life to the fullest. Everybody knows he was in Costa Rica, swimming in the ocean at the time of his, what we'll call sunset, or when he got his wings. He has a wife that is private, a daughter that he has kept private. I love that for him. I remember years ago, Keisha Knight Pulliam, who I'm still aware of because she hosts a show that I watch, Married at First Sight, does this after show thing that she does. And I always love Keisha Knight Pulliam. She was on Oprah years ago talking about how being a part of the public, being in public life from a child impacted her. She was telling it sounded like a funny story, but I couldn't imagine it because of my personality type. Good morning, Cece. Welcome in. Cece's one of my moderators. I appreciate you coming in. But the story that Keisha Knight Pulliam, I had to pull myself back from saying Rudy, y'all. And Keisha Knight Pulliam is an adult. She's a wife. She's a mother. But that is how embedded they become in our psyche. So Keisha Knight Pulliam was telling Oprah that one time she was in Atlanta. She was getting her driver's license. She was in the car. She was with an instructor. No, it wasn't the instructor. She was taking the test, the driver's license test. And a car pulled up next to her. And they were like, oh, Rudy. Yeah, Rudy, give Rudy your license. And they pulled off. And she told Oprah, I was so embarrassed. The audience was laughing. I found that it's a really funny, cute story. But can you imagine having a job as a child and then having that almost be your identity for the rest of your time on earth, I can't imagine, because I'm pretty private, even though I have my YouTube channel just to talk about the things that interest me, but I couldn't imagine that. So that is what Malcolm Jamal Warner navigated it wonderfully. A lot of people were just finding out about his wife and child. I saw a picture circulating. I hope it's not widely circulated. They are private, so we don't need to know who they are or what they look like. Condolences to them, because never met the man. I feel like I lost a first cousin or favorite cousin. So I'm going to share some things that he has done throughout the years. All right. One of them is a spoken word. And excuse me, I've changed this screen because I wanted to make sure correct and you could see what I'm doing. I apologize. I'm already sharing. So what I'm going to do is just go in and get this to play. Okay, here we are. Well, that one, let's see. I'll show him speaking first. I think that's a good place to start. And this was a great interview by Melissa Ford. I haven't
never know. So speaking of legacy, what do you hope that your legacy is going to be? It's a tough question, huh?
Yeah, especially
Kids
because
help with the legacy question, right?
Yeah, I mean, and because I'm 54, I think about that a lot. So it's interesting. I remember my mother said to me one time that Mr. Cosby gave you immortality.
Facts. That is very true.
Right? So I know on one lane, there's legacy there, but also because my life, those former years were always about life beyond Cosby, right? So I feel like, okay, there's that legacy there, but then because I've had this full life, after that show, there's another lane of legacy that I get to leave, and I'm still working through that. There is part of me that I will be able to leave this earth, knowing and people knowing that I was a good person. And I talked to my dad, I talked to him yesterday, and what he said to me often, people love you and people are always talking about, your career and your success and all of that. He said, but what really makes me the most proud is that you are a good person. And I had it from my dad.
That's wonderful.
But I'm a good person because my dad's a good person. That's a whole nother thing. It is possible to walk through this world, and with all of the darkness in the world, it is possible to maintain your soul and be a good person.
It is. It definitely is.
Doesn't follow trends. He sets them. He ain't even concerned about them. Trends attach themselves to him. And we watched him evolve as a young man into a grown man, as a thespian, as a poet, as a musician. He's just been an outstanding individual. He's been very open and transparent. His emotional intelligence exceeds that of your average human being. Anytime you could be that open about who you are in your life and share that with the public, that's an amazing thing.
And so I appreciate that. And I think one of the reasons why the emotions came up for me is because I spent, so much of the early part of my life listening to like being celebrated on one hand, but paying way too much attention to the naysayers. Like we didn't have the term haters back then, but like I grew up, listening to kids who were like, well, you just America's favorite white black boy. So I grew up paying way too much attention to the people who, for whatever their own reasons, were giving me the opposite of love. And even though I'm walking through life, I'm getting all this love, right? Not just in my home, but I'm getting all this love from people. But it was the people who didn't like me. So now as an adult,
and that's when you know someone has become iconic. He doesn't follow trends. He sets them. He ain't even concerned about them. Trends.
He named me after Malcolm X and Ahmad Jamal. During my summer vacations as a kid, my dad he had this thick book called Great American Negroes. And he had these, the chapters on Richard Langston, Mary McLeod, and he used to make me write these book reports during my summer vacations. And I hated it. Like, I'm trying to play. The fuck? And it wasn't until I got older that I understood what he was doing. And I think it registered for me. The light bulb went off. I was in 5th grade. I had this book my dad gave me, Poems on the Life and Death of Malcolm X. And I have the book on my desk in 5th grade. And these kids would kind of tease me and like, oh, somebody wrote a book about you, ha, ha, ha. And I'm in 5th grade and I realized, oh, these kids don't know who Malcolm X is. And if they're reading poems, they're not reading poems as sophisticated as what I'm reading. So I understood, what my father was instilling in me. And then once I'm doing Cosby, and now I'm a couple of years in, and Cosby is this thing, this epic beacon phenomenon, and has this impact, this global impact on Black people. Yep. And I remember being 15, and so the responsibility that comes with that, and by the time I'm talking, I'm going to schools to talk to kids, I'm going to churches, I'm doing public speaking, and I was 15, and I called my dad. I was like, "You set me up," and he laughed. He said, "You're damn right." Wow. My dad set me up.
Good morning. I apologize for that. I removed myself and then my mic was muted. Let me see. For some reason, I'm on here twice. One moment. I don't know which one is at. I apologize. Is there an echo? This was my Malcolm Jamal Warner appreciation post. I can't with this echo. Let me see if I can remove it. Okay, thank you. Just telling me it's good. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So I team replay. At the beginning, I played a couple of I'm sorry, I have to turn this down. Okay, at the beginning, I played a couple of Malcolm Jamal Warner in his own words. So we got to see Melissa Ford do an excellent interview with him. Sway Calloway from Sway's Universe did an excellent one as well. And then I just want to share what the Amsterdam News had up about him. If I could access that quickly. If not, we've been on here probably about 15 minutes or so. So I'll go ahead and end there. And I apologize for technical difficulties. Finally, I had my screen set up correctly. So thank you for being patient while I work through this. And my favorite source is Amsterdam News. There's any type of death in our community. And we know Malcolm Jamal Warner from probably 14 or 15 years old until 54 years old. So I like to have everything that he was able to accomplish in his life. And let me make sure I can share my screen again. Excuse my finger. This is a touch screen computer. Something's going on with the mouse. Okay, here we go. Okay, Amsterdam News, they do a really good job eulogizing. So we see the title, Malcolm Jamal Warner, beloved, and he was beloved, dies at 54. Beautiful picture, full of life. So the reason I pulled this up is because a lot of us can name his accolades just from like memory. So we knew about the Cosby Show, of course. We've heard about the unfortunate drowning. The blessing in that is everyone, if there were people on the beach, they recovered him at the time, but unfortunately, he was, you see where it says he was confirmed at the scene. So that was terrible. But it's just a blessing he wasn't away, and then his family doesn't even have his body. So we have the Cosby Show, that was between 1984 to 1992. And then a lot of people came to know him through Malcolm and Eddie from 1996 to 2000. And then numerous TV dramas, comedies, including Major Crimes, Suits, Community, The Resident, Read, Between the Lines, Jeremiah, 911. That's a recent project with Angela Bassett. He directed a lot too, y'all. I do know that for a fact. He was able to direct some of the first jobs, The Cosby Show. You know, he did the famous Vanessa. Vanessa was in Philadelphia having big fun with the ratchet when Vanessa snuck out. So that's one. He voiced the producer on the popular animated series, The Magic School Bus, and he was also an executive producer on that show. So his talents extend well beyond acting. He won a Grammy Award. One of the things behind me is him. It's as if I'm in like a club with them, but that's Theo, not, oh Lord, sorry, Michael Jamal Warner behind me on bass. He worked with Robert Glasper Experiment and Layla Hathaway. He's also a published poet, musician, director, and in recent years became an outspoken advocate for mental health. One of the interviews I showed everybody, if you go back to the beginning, he speaks with a homeschool educator about his father having him write book reports during his summer vacation, which of course he didn't love. So, of course, if you've been on social media, take a break if you need to, but it's fans and celebrities flooded social media expressing shock and heartbreak. So I won't read all of those. I'm going to stop sharing there, and then I'll read some of our comments. Y'all, this echo that I'm experiencing, I apologize for that. It's something with the setup I've done, and I'm not sure. Let's see. Okay, here we are. I'm going to go back and share some of the comments. Yeah, Dot Willie. It is sad. It must have been. I believe that since I've become an adult, that you complete your assignment or whatever that is, and then you move on. Oh, okay. Thank you for confirming that. It's just something that I'm going through here on my end. I'll figure it out later. But I'm so glad it's not in the stream. So, Team Replay, thank you so much for coming in. There are some videos at the beginning of Malcolm Jamal Warner in his own words, just speaking of Melissa Ford actually got to ask him about legacy. So can you imagine him getting that question? I think it was earlier this summer, and then him answering it. And it was really poignant. It involved his career, but it mainly involved his family and that he's a good person. He had just spoken with his father, and that was the thing that most stood out for his father. You've received a lot of accolades and people love you, but you are a good person. So that's aspirational. That's something for all of us to aspire to, whether we're world famous or not. So everyone, thank you so much for joining Sandra Peace Gen Extra. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your week. Just take time out to reflect. Take a break from social media if you need to, because I know I woke up this morning feeling like I had lost one of my first cousins, which I've experienced before, losing very close cousins. The feeling is similar, so it's not strange. It is. I expect that from people because I feel the same way. So this is our Gen X cousin, brother, however you want to embrace him as your family. So everyone, have a great day, and I will see you in the YouTube streets. Goodbye.